Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're locking in my best build for blasted bugs for the new major order to save Super Earth. But this time we have a little bit of a twist, because after a little bit of testing, there's a couple of stratagems that tank performance so badly that we've had to stop using them altogether on the hardest difficulty. So lighting this off, we'll start with our best all-around bug build for blasting the Gloom and pretty much any mission that, well, any of the bugs can throw at you, where you'll never have to worry about any spawn seeds at all. You won't even have to look at the chart. You just lock this in and start blasting, because I'm About to Bugs is meant to mulch every single thing and rack up the most kills while having the most fun. This is built around making the most out of the buffed stalwart, because it's an absolute DPS machine that completely annihilates every bit of chaff the bugs can throw at you. And in the Gloom, there's tons of explodey boys that really don't fare too well against a wall of lead. So just set this thing to max RPM and start blasting, because not even the large lads are going to be able to handle the amount of bullets you're putting down on them. This combined with the gas grenade is going to keep everything locked down while you keep blasting. And if you were worried about something like an alpha commander, you rip their heads off so fast that it's just an afterthought. And if one does start getting close to you, just punch it and move on to the next target. I really do feel like this is one of the flat out like overall best bug weapons in the game right now, because that raw DPS output means that once you have enough confidence, you can just run over everything, including Bile Titans, like a true hero. But if you do feel like you need something with a little more punch, we also have the regular machine gun that you see us using the cadet builds all the time that just performs amazing. And then the heavy MG is also a really solid pickup. We round all three of these machine guns out with the supply backpack, though, because they're insanely ammo hungry, and you will be taking a ton of chip damage in the Gloom with everything exploding all over you. So this helps keep your stim economy very healthy, and combined with that B24 medium enforcer armor, this comes from the superstore, that helps keep the chip damage lower. The armor rating keeps your head a little bit safer, and the explosive resistance helps reduce all the damage from the bugs popping on you. And more importantly, the explosive resistance also protects you from all bile spew in the game. So like whether it's a nurse or like the armored bile spewer or even a bile titan puking on you, it's going to reduce that damage. Only the damage over time is actually acidic, so this helps quite a bit. And it also gives you recoil reduction if you're crouching or laying down, so whatever MG you pick is just going to turn into an absolute beam. And our other two stratagems have been updated to make sure we can still wipe the screen without lagging out, because we had to drop orbital napalm barrage, because it just tanks your frames out if there's a city or there's just too many things exploding at the same time. So we have swapped over to 500 kg for a more direct anti-tank removal. Also, it just looks really cool, and I think that 500 kg is probably one of everybody's favorite stratagems. And then Orbital Gatling Barrage is our next stratagem, and I think this is always the best all-around pick pretty much all the time for everything. It has an insanely low cooldown that will always be up for every single breach or every situation that you need it in, and sometimes you even get two in the same breach, to be honest. And this can kill every single enemy in the entire game. If you just get a lucky spread, it's just going to rip through everything. But even when it doesn't, it softens everything up enough that you can easily take them down with the rest of your kit. This is also where the Scorcher really comes in clutch and is easily my favorite weapon for knocking out chargers. The double charger seeds are fairly abundant, and I was constantly just running out of recoil sound when I was trying to run the RR on this. So I really wanted something that was better at taking them out, that gave me a little bit more economy. And gas grenades also turn the chargers, so you can get them pretty epic moments, but you don't really have to worry about anything when you take the Scorcher in. You also don't have to worry about any of the spewer seeds with the Scorcher on your hip, because its explosive damage just annihilates all the explodey boys. And even like Bile Titans, Impalers, like you just rip through them so fast. The only problem that the Scorcher has is that it's insanely ammo hungry, but we have a supply backpack to counter that. And as we keep eating our supplies, all of our economy across the board is going to stay healthy. But if you don't have the Scorcher yet, the crossbow will do just fine in its place. We also do take in the ultimatum so that we can quickly remove Bile Titans or Impalers, because even if you flub the shot and it doesn't kill it, following up a Scorcher fire to the chest or an open back piece drops these things super fast. Finally, the gas grenade is going to be one of the most important parts of your kit. It just enables you to always have enough space and breathing room to think and make better decisions. You can throw this at any bug breach. Usually I like double up and throw two. That way there's a little bit better of a spread. Then you could just start blasting into it. It helps like rot the enemies out with the damage it does do. And that between spamming and Scorcher shots randomly on the Gloom just lets you rack up kill streaks just with those things. And then gas combined with the stalwart, like you're just blasting through the rest of anything else the bugs can throw at you. I also do know that a lot of people are looking for like direct anti-tank removal, but like once you get good at blasting with this build, your ability to sustain through everything and wipe everything out is unmatched for any of the bug seeds. It just doesn't matter what you're dropping into. You have an answer for everything that is on demand on your character. like where you don't actually have to rely on your 2 stratagems to take it out. They just supplement you and help you roll situations that get out of control. But now we're moving on to our Predator Strain build, where we do need a little bit more screening because these things are insanely fast and hit ridiculously hard. So target priority removal here is also going to be quite a bit more important. And that's why we kept the recoilless rifle in this loadout. You need to snap remove the heavy so that you have as much time to deal with the new hunters and stalkers, because again, they're just so fast, they do so much damage that you need as much time to make decisions against them as you can possibly get. And I don't think there's much to say about the recoilless rifle other than the white reticle does snap around quite a bit when you're just aiming at stuff, so make sure you full ADS and you'll be able to pop whatever weak point or part that you're trying to hit. You will also be tapped on ammo if you hit the double charger seed, so just try and play around the resupplies in the situation. Otherwise, you should be good to go for the rest of the game. But we do need extremely high stagger weapons to supplement this loadout, and the cookout, in my opinion, is the flat out best for that, because it upfront stun locks what you're shooting at, and then it also fire dot rots them out, and it's the best like spray down weapon to take in for this. It's also really, really good against shriekers. Shriekers can spread fire to each other, so it helps you deal with that too, and that's one of the most annoying things to have to deal with is when you have that verticality with the insanely fast predator bugs. Like, you have to be able to deal with everything, and I think that this does that the best. And one thing to keep in mind is the new stalkers, they kind of flinch and cover their head with their little mandible, and you have to just wait a second and they'll reset their position because they don't move when they're doing that, and then it just lines up a free headshot for you, so it's always just a 2-tap. The only problem that you run into with the cookout is alpha commander, so we really want to rip them up with our secondary. Dropping them with the bushwhacker or verdict works the best in my opinion, but solo, I honestly just shoot some of them with my recoilless rifle if I have my resupply close by, because I think that's just one of the best ways to deal with them. And on top of that, I also needed gas, because whether you're taking gas grenade or gas dog, one of these is mandatory, because without it, you just get overran and eaten alive. Again, these give you space and time to think about what you need to do, and it lets you reload your rocket launcher in those clutch moments while helping rot out any of the predator bugs. I feel like the gas damage combined with the fire from the cookout really just lets you just pace the game at the way you need to, so that everything is constantly just falling over. I also really like taking in gas strike so that I could use it on the breaches. This gives you a ton of time to think and deal with any patrols that come in, especially with the gas grenades. You can have a really wide spread of gas in front of you so that you can create a nice safe zone for yourself, and it really helps you control the flow of the game. Now, you're going to see the MG and Gatling sentries. These are both here just to screen you and kill 50 enemies while you kill 50 more, because this Predator Strain just spawns way more dudes. And I felt like the two of these together helped me stabilize every single time there was too much to handle or I was getting overwhelmed. Gatling sentry by itself is going to mow down and be your like big panic reset tool, but the machine gun sentry is your get out of jail free card. All the turrets have a taunt mechanic, so it draws all the aggression of the enemies away from you towards them. And the machine gun sentry does have a fairly low rate of fire, so when it does get overwhelmed, it is just going to get popped. And if there's too many hive guards or alpha commanders, the low cooldown lets you use that to wipe those out. And those will be your problem if you don't take in something like the verdict, so just keep that in mind. I think the machine gun sentry has always been like one of my favorite strategies, ever since they buffed it, of course. Pre-buff is weird, but ever since it had that cooldown reduction, it's been one of my favorite. Just toss it in, and then I can just use that as a tool to get the enemies where I need them so that I have an easier time killing them. In this, we're also running the B24 explosive resistance armor so that we can have enough moves and speed to just like spam reposition if we need to. It also like helps base the predator bugs a little bit easier than heavy armor does, and it helps us take less explosive damage, of course, but we already talked about that. And I think that if you have super confidence, like, run siege ready armor, like heavy. I didn't like light because I was just dying in like one leap from hunters sometimes, so with the heavy armor that wasn't really happening. And what this did is it gave me enough extra shots in my cookout to just like keep blasting when I needed to. And that was the build, again, that that's going to be the second link in the description, where I soloed a while back and was just racking a ton of kills up. And I really do think that out of all the different builds that I tested and tried, this ended up being the best way just to fight the hardest sub-faction in the game, whether you were solo or in a group. But finally, last but not least, always my favorite thing to talk about is the most fun build in the entire game. Disposables is definitively the take it in and not care about anything build. Any faction, any seed, you just go blasting. The main idea here is to just do the most over-the-top, ridiculous thing you can think of the entire game. And the more people that run this, the force multiplier on it makes it even better. The commando and eat combo gives you 3 disposable launchers for any large labs that could appear, and you end up with so many extra rockets that you can just keep blasting, even just bile spears. It doesn't matter. You could just keep killing everything, and it helps keep armor completely under control. Plus, if a teammate dies, you could just kit them out with a bonus rocket to help them get back to their stuff, or maybe they just want to start using your rockets. It is what it is. It doesn't matter because you have so many. And you're never going to have to worry about going back to your stuff to get it because you can always just throw new stuff for yourself, which is my personal favorite part. So just being able to go and keep fighting the entire mission, keep running exactly where you want to feels amazing. And whenever things do just snowball out of control, like the game feels like, oh God, like this might be over. And your team is just like running it down, like they run into the mega nest, they're spawning like 20 bile titans or whatever. Just an insane breach, whatever it might be, you can just run in with the Hellbomb backpack and reset the entire screen. Remember, you're also disposable, so if you don't make it out, at least make it look good. And in your last strat slot, this is just about the coolest thing that you can do. Whatever your team needs, you just take that. I take the HMG emplacement if I feel like I need to obliterate chaff or we're just going to be on a bile seed. And it's just one of the most fun cinematic strats in the game that you can use. And blasting bugs with it is just like I don't think anything else really matches how fun this is for me, just to blast bugs with the HMG emplacement. But if you think your team's going to struggle with large lads, then the AT emplacement is the perfect gaming chair for knocking everything out that you could just imagine being a problem. And if you look at the map and everything is too spaced out for you, like all the objectives are far away, just go for one last ride in the FRV.
One last ride into the breach. Yes.
Oh my God.
Armor-wise, we take peak physique because it looks cool and also cuts some of the animations on some of the rockets. And Democracy protects if we're just feeling spicy and we want to do that 50-50 on the Hellbomb. But main weapon-wise, the crossbow, honestly, it's just always the safest go-to on bugs. That way you can close all the bug holes. It's the best gun in the game, right? And personally, around the whole build-out, I almost always take in the Verdict. I just love the feedback from shooting it. Just shooting it. Like, you feel like John Wick when you're blasting with this thing. And when I am playing this build, I usually use the Verdict like a primary. And I think that since the Verdict's last buff, this has been the overall best secondary, like just blanket to take to everything. Like this is the ultimate last resort pistol. And when we talk about grenades, whatever you feel like you need. You feel like you need more horde clear, you take gas in or impact incendiary. And then if you feel like you need anti-tank, just take in the thermite. I don't think you'll need anti-tank with the amount of rockets you have, but you never know. Some people just want to be able to throw 3 thermites because they like the sound of the firecracker going off. Either way, I think the most important part of this build, more than anything, is that every single time I play it, somebody's brand new to the game, they're old to the game they play all the time, or they're returning. The feedback you get when you play this with somebody or you get them to play it with you is that it's the most fun they've ever had playing the game, and I think that's what it's really all about. But at the same time, it's also so powerful and well-rounded that you have something to deal with every situation, and it just feels really good. And everything the game can throw at you just doesn't exist when the disposables are there. So if you do need more help with bugs, I have an in-depth guide that's going to be the first link in the description. Pretty much covers every single thing you could imagine other than Predator and Gloom stuff, which we'll be doing updated video for coming up soon. And all these builds and text guides are always updated in my Discord first, so just go select a role in the welcome channel and you'll be able to see everything that you need to. And I update all this stuff live on stream right after I finish testing it all out.
Hang on, it'll be better this time.
I'm glad the reload's really fast to compensate.
What the fuck?
Look, you one-shot him! Wow!
Wow!
Your level threat on the field.